What up, YouTube? It's your boy Anime Specialist. So it's almost about that time, man. In next week's episode or the next episode after that, we'll probably see Mars and Fana seeing each other for the first time since their test when they were kids. So I'm hype about that. But this week's episode, man, was really good. Almost as good as last week's episode because there was so much action and information to talk about. Plus, it was so good but so different at the same time. The fight scenes and the dialogue between the characters were so different. So that's why I really like this episode. Black Clover does a great thing. Yes, there's fights and everything, but each fight feels different, so that's one of the things that I really liked about Black Clover. So like I said, there was a lot of information in this episode. We actually learned that Fenzo was Mars and Ladro's teacher when they were kids, so that was pretty interesting. Obviously they're really strong, they're shining generals for the Diamond Kingdom. So yes, Fenzo is not as strong as them, but he's close to that Shining General level at least. So this was a pretty cool information to get. There's one thing, I might be tripping, but it looks like Mars is older, even though it hasn't been that long in the show that we saw him, but he looks a little bit older, but maybe I'm tripping. But I want to shout out Mariella. She's a badass. She's just ordering the witches around to defend the forest and everything. So that was pretty cool of her. And we saw how she wants to atone for the sin for her sins, for what she's done in the past, because she was an assassin, so she killed maybe innocent people. So she wants to atone for that. So I think that was pretty cool. But let's talk about Ladros, man. He's a pretty different character that we've seen in this series, man. He reminds me a lot of Hisoka in Hunter x Hunter and other characters in other animes that are like him. He's pretty crazy, but at the same time he's really strong. Like Fenzo said, he was the strongest of his students, but he did, when he was a kid, he didn't have an element to his magic. But now, because he modified his body in the Diamond Kingdom, he can absorb magic and release it when he wants. So this is a pretty interesting power, and plus his magic is laser magic, so that's pretty cool. I think it's a pretty cool kind of magic. That's the first time that we've seen this in the series so far. So yeah, I don't think that Ladros and Mars are the strongest of the Shining Generals. I think the other Shining Generals that we didn't get to see yet are even stronger than they are. So that will be pretty interesting to see them. But yeah, Fenzo also said that Mars was his most skilled student. So I like this little information about Mars and Ladros. And I also want to shout out Domina, because she's really smart. She kind of reprogrammed the Sentinels that the witches had for intruders, and made them like a bomb to attack the Diamond Kingdom and everything. So she's pretty smart. I didn't know that about her. I only knew that she was from the Forest of Witches, and that she was selling things and everything. So that was a pretty interesting thing about her. But I have to say, man, I really thought that she would die in this episode. It would have made an epic death for the first time, I think, in the series. But Mars came to the rescue. But without him, she would have died, man, because Fenzel was kind of out of commission. He was still conscious, but he was getting beat up by Ladros, So I really thought that Domina was going to die in this episode. The way that they did it, it looked like she was gonna die, but she was saved by Mars. We know that Mars has some good in him. We saw it when he fought Asta, and at the end of this arc, we saw how he can be compassionate and how good he can be. So for the moment he chose his teacher's side. I'm not so sure if he's really choosing his side or something, but we'll see. I don't trust him for that, but we'll see. But yeah, man, him fighting, not really fighting Ladros, but just keeping him away from Fenzo and Domina plus Mariela was pretty cool. I don't know if he could beat Ladros right now because, like Fenzo said, Ladros is the strongest of his students, but Mars is the most skilled, so he could maybe beat him. One of the things that Mars said about beating Ladros was to overflow him with magic so that he would explode, and or use anti-magic against him. And obviously we know that the only one right now that can use anti-magic is Asta, so they'll be reunited for the first time since the beginning of the anime series. We'll have to see what is Mars' reaction to Asta, but the thing that I really want to see is Mars' reaction to Fana, because Asta and Fana right now are kind of fighting, so he'll get to see that Fana is alive. So this will be really, really good to see. I want to see what Fana's reaction will be when she sees Mars, and what Mars' reaction will be when he sees Fana. One last thing that I almost forgot is that the reason why the Diamond Kingdom is attacking the Forest of Witches, and the reason why they want to take the Queen is because their king is ill, and they want to know how to cure him because the witch has lived for hundred of years, so they want her kind of trick to how she can live that long for to cure their king. So that's the reason why they came into the Forest of Witches and came to kidnap the queen. But yeah, man, it was another great episode. There was some reused animation in the episode. Sometimes we saw the same animation a multiple of time, but it's okay. I think the animation will get even better through this arc because of what's gonna happen with Asta. But yeah, man, let me know what you thought about this week's episode in the comments down below. Like I said, I think it was really good, yet different than last week's episode, and I think it's gonna get even better. So, man, Black Clover is on a roll. It's getting even more popular by the day. I'm not reading the manga, but I don't know, man. After this arc, maybe I have to read the manga. We'll see, but I do Black Clover reviews every Tuesday, so subscribe for that. I actually do the Black Clover reviews every Tuesday. I don't remember the last time I missed a day of Black Clover reviews. I really like this show right now, so I'll keep doing it. I do other anime related things like One Piece reviews, Sword Art Online reviews, and Fairy Tail reviews right now. I'm gonna do both Naruto Next Generation reviews when it's out of the filler, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, man, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. And with Specialist out. Peace.